Hey everybody, Doug here, Doug Mystic Guy on Board Game Geek. Just doing the second part of our quick play for What's He Building in There? A game of mad scientists in the 1800s, evil doctors trying to take over the world. So anyway, in the last video, if you hadn't seen it and you want to know how to play, go back and watch that because it was a rules overview. This one, however, is just we're going to play a few sample rounds. And I don't know how long we'll play. We'll play until I think you can get a good feel of the game. We're going to jump right to it. So, get ready. We're going to build our IQ reducing idiotifier and our insano gas and get away on our submarine with our mad doctor. And here we go. So player one is our red player, and he's going to go first. He's got the first player token, that white marker that's sitting there on corner. Now remember, he has to build this dirigible, and I'll just let's see if I can back this up a bit and show you. Basically, those are the resources that he needs. So he's going to need an aluminum framing for the first part of his dirigible, a bunch of resources. Looks like steel, refined steel, copper, raw wood, and raw cloth. He's also going to need 3 GA, that's genius at work points, and 9 manual labor points. And if he builds that, if he has all the resources and builds that first piece there, stage 1, he will get 9 victory points. Pretty slick, huh? Yeah. So now for his pheromonic stupefier, he's going to need he's going to need I think it's variegative proselytizer, which is the water drop there, and then the other one is the injector, which is the adulterative enzyme. There we go, got that out. Wow. He's going to need some raw steel, raw wood. I think that's the other one's raw glass, raw hides or raw leather, and refined cloth for that. And then for GA 6 manual labor, and that'll gain him 14 points. So that's going to be our first guy. So we know what he's kind of targeting there. That didn't go over very well, did it? Anyway, these hide behind our player screen so that people don't know what we're working on. Now we're going to start with our player turns. Our yellow guy, he needs a speedboat. You can see that these things all require something slightly different, so that the players don't know what each one is trying to make in this. And I mean, really, the rest of the game is pretty much at its heart a worker placement game. So we're just going to run through the turn order one more time. So you're going to move the turn marker. That's the first thing we're going to do. So in this turn, we'll put it on 1. Then we're going to place our doctors and henchmen. We're going to resolve those after everything's placed. We're going to invent if we can. We're going to pay rent if necessary. It won't be necessary till turn 5, and that's assuming we haven't reached the real estate part of the social track. And we're going to replace workshops and black market cards on the board. So let's get started. So for our first action, our first player, the red guy, he's going to send one of his henchmen off to make some money, because as I looked in the rules, you don't start off with any money. You got to earn it some way, shape, or form. So we're going to place his marker right there, as you can see, for his first placement, and then we're going to go on to yellow. Now the yellow player, he's thinking he wants to start getting on a project too, and since he cannot get the any of the the money, really, well, he could get money and take the first player marker, but he's second, so it's not that critical. I think what he's going to do is start off right away. We do want to create duct tape. We do have a cloth guy there, so we're going to start. He's going to place his doctor actually right here in the weavers, and we're going to get him 3 unrefined cloth. Let me show you what that looks like. So our blue player is going to take advantage of the fact that no one's jumped on the Genius at Work track, and that's where he's going to place his his doctor, his evil doctor, is going to go right here on the first spot, and that's going to give him +3 on the Genius of Work track when we go to resolve. Now we'll go back to the red player. The red player, let's see what he's going to do here. Oh, by the way, I do need to move the turn marker on 1. You know, there's lots of things he could do. Oh, this guy's not here. That was from my instructions. I think, though, that red is trying to build up a bunch of resources. He does need a few things that he doesn't have access to, unfortunately. But, you know, they all might rush out to build some duct tape or something like that. I don't know. We can see what there is up there. Unfortunately, yeah, I think he'll go to the Tanners right now as his action, so he can make sure he gets his doctor out before everybody else jumps on it. Okay, now we're going to move on to yellow. Yellow's still got all 3 henchmen to place, and I think what he's going to do is he's might as well place his in the wood shop. It's taking up that first spot right there. And then we're going to move on to the blue player. Blue player says, you know what? No one's taking advantage of this. See, the manual labor track's empty, so he's going to place in the first spot there. That's going to be his turn. Pretty simple. We're going to go back to red. Let's see. Red says, yeah, you know, not much going on here, but we do need some resources. He's going to place his next guy over here on the this track here, on the Weaver's workshop right there, and that'll be his turn. Then we're going to place the next yellow fellow. Yeah, I did that on purpose. And I think that what we're going to do with him is he's going to come over here now. Shoot. Okay, yeah, I think he's going to get some, based on some things we're trying to do, he's going to come over here and go second there on the leather. Now we got the tannery. Now we got the blue guy here. He says, you know, I'm going to take advantage of something else. I do need a little money. There's not much space left. So I'm going to place here, and that'll get me the first player token for next turn, which happens immediately. And allows, or actually doesn't have, it happens in resolution phase. And then that way he'll be able to get first player and a couple of coins in there. Let's see, what else we got? Well, still got one more guy with red. Let's see, what will red do? Red, I think, might as well start, you know, getting some work done. So he's going, it's only 1 point, but it's worth it. He's going to place here on the manual labor track. And, you know, yellow says, you know, I'm going to do the same because I don't have any manual labor at this point. But he also doesn't have any cloth, which he needs. I think, actually, for this first turn, he's going to place over here on this cloth spot right here in the workshop. And then blue, one more time, he's got his last guy left. He says, yeah, look, everybody's getting all these resources but me. I think we'll go into the wood shop here and get some wood. So that is going to end our place doctor and henchman phase, and then we're going to go to our resolution phase. So we're going to resolve the track in order, see by the numbers that are up in the upper left hand corner right here. So 1, and then 2, and then 3. So the first thing that's going to happen is yellow is going to get his piece back, and that's going to give him, the henchman, 2 wood resources. So we'll grab those, and those are going to be unrefined wood or raw wood, and they look suspiciously like logs. And there they are right there. Those are the 2 logs that he gets. He puts those behind his player screen for resources that he has. And then the blue player is also going to do the same thing and grab 2 raw wood resources right here, and there we go again. So I'm going to put the 2 raw wood behind the blue player screen, and that's going to move him off as well. And then we go on to space 2, which is, I'm going to focus down just a little bit right here so you can see that a little better. That's the cloth space. You see that yellow has his doctor there, so he's going to pick that up and get 3 unrefined cloth. That's pretty good. Or raw. I keep saying unrefined because the other one is refined, but it's 3 raw cloth. So those are the three raw cloth that he gets right there. I'm going to put those behind his screen with his wood. Now he's getting some resources built there. Now the red is then also going to, was that yellow? Yeah, that was the yellow's doctor, right? Yep. Red is going to do the same thing, but unfortunately he's only got one of his henchmen there, right? So he's only going to get, he's going to take his one, put it there, and say, okay, I'm going to get 2 raw cloth. I mean, that's better than a sharp stick in the eye. And he's going to put the 2 raw cloth behind his screen. There's the 2 raw cloth right there. There you go. And those are going to go behind his screen. And then yellow, once again, was on the cloth space. Now, you know what's interesting is what we could do with him, or what he could choose to do, which might get him ahead in the race right now, is he could turn in 2 cloth for 1 refined cloth, or 2 of his raw cloth resources. He has 3, so he could do that. I'm trying to see if there's any benefit for him to that in any way, shape, or form. Let's look at his card here. It's going to first level card. Does not. It has actually raw cloth, so we want to keep raw cloth for that, and raw cloth for that. So there's nothing there that he's going to build that helps. That is helped by having refined cloth, and there's nothing on the board that I can see immediately that's going to need the help of refined cloth either. So I think he's just going to take 2 more raw cloth. Why the heck not, if it's working for him, you know? So he's got a set of 5 raw cloth right now. He can do quite a bit with that because he's got a lot of things he can build with raw cloth. And then we're going to go right here to this space where red had his doctor taking leather resources. So he's going to get 3 raw leather, and let's grab those for him. Raw leather. And building up these resources is helpful because you know, you can convert them into refined resources and build things, right? So there's his. He's got 3. Get them to, there you go. 3 raw leather in the red spot, and then yellow has yellow is the resource king this turn. Yellow is going to pick up. I don't know if you saw that over there. You probably did. Yeah, it's right on it. Okay, so yellow's going to pick up 2 raw leather there. So yellow right now has quite a bit of stuff. Raw wood, raw leather, and raw cloth, which will allow, if he can get a little money and a little gaw, will allow him to build one of the items already, which is the duct tape. He just needs some resources there. But anyway, that's going to end actions 1 through 4. Okay. So now we're going to go up to 5, and you see 5, 6, 7 are all empty right now. So we're going to go up to the top of the board here, right here, where you see the red had basically taken some, got some money. So we're going to get red a coin, which is going to look like that. Just a nice little 5 spot there. Just going to go behind his player screen. We're going to take him off. And now blue on space 8 is going to get 2 coins. Which is the first thing that blue's gotten, really, this turn, and, except for a couple raw wood. And he's going to not only take that, but he's also going to take the first player marker and put it behind his, next to his board, so that everybody knows he's the first player. Okay, now let's move on over. We're on the Genius at Work track, and only one of the doctors placed on the Genius at Work track. So blue gets to take one of his cubes, and gets to, let's just focus on this so you can see enough of it there. I'm going to back up a little. There we go. There we go. So he's going to be able to place 1, 2, 3, take his doctor off because he took the first spot there and the only spot. And then the other ones came down here and took manual labor. So we got blue on the first spot there, who's going to get 2 manual labor. He's stocking up some stuff there. Going to take his piece back, and red is going to get to place on his cube on 1 manual labor spot right there. So that's actually the end of the resolution phase. Now we would move on to inventions, which is optional because you may not be able to do that. And at this point in time, nobody can invent anything. So we're going to move on to the 5th part of the turn, which would be pay rent, and it's not necessary yet. It's not necessary until turn 5. And then we're going to move on to part 6 of the turn, which is replacing workshops and black market cards on the board. So in this turn, we're going to remove the 3 current market cards. We'll just put them right here. This is the discard pile. And we're going to turn up a coppersmith, a steel mill, and another steel mill. Interesting. So then we didn't use any of these black market cards, but we're going to recycle these throughout the game. So they will come out. Now I'm removing the black market cards. I've already removed them from the board, and now I'm create a discard pile for them, and I'm going to replace them with a refinery, which, as you can see now, you can take 2 resources and a gold to create a refined resource of any kind. Gold acquisition, that's a useful one this turn. Another refinery, and lastly, a liquidation. So you can sell your resources for money. So in this, in that case, you can sell 2 raw resources for 4 gold. It's pretty good, not too bad. It helps out a lot. And that is actually going to be the end of the round. So now we're gonna move on to the second turn. So the first thing that happens in the second turn is we move our turn marker, per our instruction card for turn order. And then the next thing we're going to do is start placing our people again. Now this time blue gets to go first because blue took over the placement of the first player marker. Blue doesn't have a lot of resources, but he can see a lot of things he wants to do. And the first thing he wants to do is take one of his henchmen and get some money because he's got no money. So he's going to place, I don't know if you can see that, but he's going to place on the money spot right there, and that's where his first placement's going to be. Now red will go. Now in this case, yellow is now last. Red says, man, I got some raw leather and some raw cloth. I can do some stuff with that if I get a couple other items. Like, let's see, what can we build here? Well, if he gets the copper, he's already got the money. He just needs some GA, and he can actually invent something this turn. So we're going to try and get him there. We're going to go to the coppersmith. So the coppersmith is over here. You can see him right here in this spot. Now remember, in the early part of the game, I'm not really focusing on my invention. I'm trying to get these things up here because we need them for our big invention anyway. He's going to place there, and that's going to be his placement turn. Then we're going to go on to yellow, and yellow says, hey man, I'm not going to be taken out of this mix, but I have no money, and he literally has the resources, with the exception of GA, to build the duct tape. So the duct tape requires a raw cloth and a raw wood, and so all he needs is some money and some GA. So he's going to take his henchman for his first move. Actually, you know what? Yeah, because if he doesn't do that, he will not get any cash. So of course, you can trade in a couple of his resources. He can do that too at the liquidator for 4, which gives him more money. So yeah, this is what he's going to do. He doesn't need all that cloth. So here he is, right here. He's going to place, don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Let's move over to you so you can see the spot he's going to place on. He's going to place right there, which is going to give him 4 gold when he refines 2 of that cloth. And that's going to be his turn. Now, for blue's blue's second action, actually, we're back around to the first player. He's saying, I only have a couple dollars, but I don't need much more than that to do anything. And I'm really close. I got some raw wood. I could use some other resources. Like he could start trying to build something. He saw that that yellow took in a bunch of resources last turn. There's nothing, there's a couple things that's there's some raw steel that he could take. So he's going to place his doctor there on the raw steel track. Now remember, you know what? I take that back. You know what he's going to do? Yeah, because somebody's got to start taking some of the social. If he doesn't start taking some of the social skills, he's going to be in trouble. So we're going to place him. If you go way over here, we're going to place him on the first track here because he wants to get the real estate. That's going to cost him his 2 gold, right there. But that will give him a cube on that track, which will be really helpful. Okay, and that's going to be his placement. Now we're going to go back to red. So red's trying to make a rush to build some stuff. He's missing a couple things to build the duct tape. In fact, he's missing he's got the cloth, but he does not have the wood, and there's no wood to build, so he's not building that this turn. But with the raw leather, if he can get some glass, and there's no glass out there, so he can't get that. Of course, he could trade. There's really nothing he can trade for either. But it wouldn't hurt him to get some steel. So I think for his turn, we're going to move him over here, right there. And, well, you know, copper, there's more to do. There's several things that could use copper right now. One uses, I think that's, is that wood? No, that's with steel. So the combustion engine requires raw steel and a steel bar. So why doesn't he do this? He's going to place here on the first steel mill slot there and take that up, and then we're going to go to yellow. Now yellow is the last player, but he's saying, hey, I still got my big old doctor and no one's taken any of the GA, and that's kind of what I needed. He thought maybe someone would have taken that from him. So coming over here, he's going to place here on the first space for the GA track. Blue saying, yeah, you know, actually I should have removed that from the board last turn. Blue says, you know, I think I'm going to go get some more manual labor because I got, well, he says I got a lot of manual labor. But, you know, he doesn't have and money anymore. So, yeah, he's going to take, which is probably, no, it's probably what the other guy should have done, but he didn't. He's going to come over here and place here. So that's Blue's next henchman turn. Red's is going to go crazy, and I think he's going to come over here. Remember, all he's got is henchmen left. He's going to place here on the second copper spot. And then we're going to go yellow. Yellow says, I'm not going to be missing out in this steel business. And it doesn't really matter where he places, so he's just going to go there. We got 2 steel mills out. Blue's saying, okay, well, there's only 1 spot left for copper. I think I'll place there. So you can see this game can start going pretty quickly as it runs along. Red says, yeah, you can never have too much steel because you're going to need to refine. Actually, he is going to need to refine some steel if he's going to get the combustion engine built. So, and that'll even, yeah, so he's going to do that for his third action. He's going to be able to build that combustion engine. So he's got some copper coming in as well. And he's got, well, he didn't have any genius at work, which he's going to need 2 to do that. So he's closer, but no cigar. He's got the money. He's got money. He's got other stuff. But that's going to end. That's his last henchman. So the only one left to go is yellow. Yellow says, well, what do I want to do? I'm the king of resources here, but they're not resources that he's going to be able to do much with. However, he doesn't have any steel yet, so he's going to place on the steel spot. Right there, and that's going to end the placement phase. Now we're going to go into the resolution phase. Okay, so we're going to start with, again, with when you resolve the spaces in number order by the blue circles. So red is first on the track. He says, okay, I'm going to take my guy off there. That's going to give me 3 copper, and while I'm there, he's going next. He's going to take his 3 copper that he just got. That's the red player. So he's going again. So he's going to take his henchman back now and say, you know, I'm going to turn, not copper. Gosh, he's just going to take 2 more. Yeah, actually, he's just going to take 2 more. Is there anything that needs refined copper? Yes, there is. So he might as well do that since he's not going to need much more than 1 copper at this point. He's going to take 2 of his copper and he's going to turn it into refined copper. So we're going to place that. And by the way, the resources are finite, so if you run out of a certain resource, it cannot be bought again until it's been replenished at the board by somebody spending it. So there's his refined copper. He's going to put it there, and that's going to end his action there. Now blue gets to go on this track, so blue's going to pick up 2 raw copper with 1 of the henchmen. Remember, henchmen only pick up 2 when they're picking up raw resources. Then we're going to go to spot 2, that's right here. We're going to start with red. He's going to pick up 2 steel, raw steel, and I just realized he still can't do exactly what he wants to do this turn. It might take him another turn, but he did, because he's going to pick up additional steel. He could turn it into a we'll see how this goes. Anyway, he's got 2 raw steel right now. So does yellow. Yellow's going to pick up 2 raw steel. And we're going to get those for him. basically, I'm not going to show you every time. I'm just going to tell you what I picked up for him because it's way on the other side of the board. And then lastly, red is going to pick up two. I was going to refine the steel, but I think it's better because there's other ways to refine goods. He's just going to pick up 2 more raw steel with his henchmen. So he's got 4 raw steel right now. Well on his way to making something. Okay, now we're going to go up to the next one, which is this one, 3, where yellow is at a steel mill as well. And yellow already has 2 raw steel. Looking around on the board, what can he do with that? You know, again, he's so close to picking up that duct tape. He just needs something. Well, he will have. Yeah, he's going to have enough. He's going to be 1 away from needing the GAW that he needs to create the duct tape. But in the meantime, he needs raw steel there to create the duct tape. So he's just going to take 2 more raw steel right now as well. It's probably going to be a time in the future where he can get these refined, and it'll prove out better for him. Okay, and that's going to end the workshop section. So we're going to kind of move over to here, where you can see this part of the board. And I'll pan out just a little bit more so you can see everything. Okay, so the first thing that happened is blue said, "I want money." So he got 5. He got 5 coins right there. Remember, he had to spend 2 to go on the some track he went on. Oh yeah, over here to get his manners tutor. Okay, and then we got blue down here on 8-0, 9, 10-0, 11 gold acquisition for blue. So blue's trying to get some money. He's got 5 already. He's got 3 more. That's gonna, or yeah, 3 more. So that's gonna put him in 8. Then there's nobody on space 12. Oh, I'm sorry. There is one. Yellow's on space 12, which allows them to trade 2 resources for 4 gold. So what he was going to do was trade 2 of the raw cloth, because he's got 3 more left, and get an additional 4 gold for his board there. That's going to be yellow. Okay, so he's got some money building up now too. Now we're going to move on to this other section of the board right here. You can basically see all the action right there. We're going to take yellow, says, hey, I need to GAW. He's going to get 3, so that's going to put his yellow cube on the GAW track up to 3. Unfortunately, it's 1 away from him being able to create the duct tape. He's got everything he needs, and that's what he's racing for. And then we go 1 step over. Let's move it over just a little bit right to there. You can see blue up on the top there. He said, okay, yeah, I already spent my 2, so he is now... he's got his manners tutor going right there, bam. So he's got the first part of that done, and he's heading to getting his real estate. That actually takes everyone off the board. We're good, and that's going to lead us to the invent phase. Now let me see. I want to just take a gander through there. I don't think anybody can invent anything because of the GAW. Only blue and yellow even have any. And but we're going to take a look and see just to be sure. Okay, so in Part 4 of the turn, no one can invent anything yet. I just went through it. Nobody has enough GAW to be able to do that. There are some things that are 3. Well, no, there's not actually. There's a couple that are 2, but they take more resources than some of the guys have. Again, the one with all the resources is yellow. He's got 3 GAW. He could have actually made the sleeping potion bomb, but he's really trying to get the duct tape because the duct tape earns him money later as well. And that's really important. So while he could have gone for one of the very specialized items, which would have even given him 5 victory points, he could have made just about any one of them because he's got 4. He's got almost. Well, he doesn't have all the resources, but he certainly could make the sleeping bomb, the concealing cloak, or the teeth sharkification special items. But he chose not to do that. So bottom line is there was no inventing. There's nobody paying rent because we're only on turn 2, and then we're going to go to the replacement of the workshops. Now again, we're going to recycle through these, but for now, these 3 go. Bummer. And we're going to replace them with 3 more. It's 1 per player, remember, in setup. So a glassmaker, a wood shop, and a glassmaker. So that's going to be that, and now we're going to move just over a little bit, and we're going to replace the 4 black markets. Different black market came up this turn. Now remember, so on every 3rd turn we're going to cycle the black markets. So this will be the last set of black market cards that go up for the next turn. Then we're going to have to reshuffle them. You see that we got a gold acquisition, two gold resource acquisition, liquidation, and resource acquisition. Those are raw resources. So, so with those you can spend money to get raw resources. Not too bad, not too shabby there. Anyway, that ends our second turn. Okay, so now we're going to go. I think we can do a couple more turns. I'd really like to show you guys inventing something, because that's the heart of the game. And so I think we're going to go at least one more turn. No one took the player marker, so blue's still going to go first. Let's make that happen. Alright, so blue going first. He's saying, you know, I'm going to get in on some of this glass action here. Heck, he's going to take one of his henchmen, actually, and place on this first glass maker here. And then red's going to go, and red says, well, you know, I don't have any of my necessary GA here, so he says he jumps on the GA space right away. He's got to get his doctor working. Yellow says, darn, I need one more of those, which is okay. He can still get two, but he can't get three now. That's fine, because he's going to be able to build something this turn if he does this. So he places his doctor there on the other space. Now remember, you can place as many doctors on that second space as you want, or as there are in the game. So that's going to be yellow's second placement. Yeah, what are we going to do with blue? Blue says, you know, I got GA, though it looks like most of the inventions require 4, which I don't have quite enough. So he too is going to use his doctor. All the doctors are studying hard at work, getting to become super geniuses. And then I think what we're going to do after that is, don't need a ton of it yet, but we do want to build up. We really don't need manual labor at this point. So I think we're going to go back over here. And red says, you know, I got quite a few resources. I even got some spun copper. I can almost make something of myself here. But glass isn't going to hurt, so he's going to place there and get some glass. Yellow says, yeah, I want some glass too. I don't want to miss out on this. He'll get some glass. Now, our good old blue doctor, he's already got some raw wood and some raw copper, but he doesn't have any glass. So he's going to get there before those are gone. Red says, yeah, okay, I get it. We're all rushing off to get glass, but you know what I'm missing in my pile is some wood. So he's going to go here and get some wood right off the bat. I don't know if you can see that clearly. There you go. Yellow also has just a couple pieces of wood, but no glass. Well, he's going to have glass. Let's see. Yeah, I think he'll... You know what he's going to do? He doesn't have a ton of money yet. He could just place on that gold acquisition and just get 4 gold. Or he can get first player and 2. I'll give him 5. Okay, and I think he's going to get some more glass this turn. He needs some glass too. That's yellow's. Now blue is the last player. Blue says, hey man, you know what? I do have 8 gold. I'm doing pretty good on money, but I can turn some of that into any resources I want, and I could then, since blue is going to have some additional GA, might be able to build something if he's clever enough. Something with raw resources. So currently he's got wood and copper. So if he can get trade in, no, he won't be able to trade in enough. He needs additional resources to do this. So, oh man, if he does that for his last action now, he's going to have 4 glass. So he can trade into, yeah. So coming over here, guys, see this this space right here, this resource acquisition space. He can spend 3 of his money to do that. And you know, if he can pull this off, he's going to have enough to build the transmutative catalyst. So he'll get to build an invention as well. I don't know if anybody's going to see that one coming. So anyway, we go to red's last turn. Now red has a ton of resources, ton of money, but is only going to have 3 GA. But with he's got the refined copper, so he might be able to build something really cool, like the circuit. If he's got glass coming. So what he really needs is GA, which he's getting this turn, but he can only get so much. What will he do? What will he do? I think he's going to try and take the first player turn back and get a couple more coins. So, see, we placed him up there. And then last placement we have is yellow. Yellow is already going to be able to produce some duct tape. That's very cool. But he has no manual labor. He doesn't need it right now. What will he do? What will he do? I think he's just got wood. He's going to have more wood. He's got lots of glass. He doesn't need that. He's got money. He doesn't necessarily need money, but all he's got is a henchman. You know what he'll do? He's going to come over here just to start setting up for later, and he's going to place on the first spot of the manual labor track. Okay, that is going to mark the placement for, oh, and you know, I didn't move the turn marker, so we're on turn 3 actually. So, right there. That's going to end the placement phase. Now we're going to go into the resource collection phase. This may be, since I'm going to build 2 inventions, there's no way I'm going to get to build any one of our major things. So I think once I get through 2 inventions, I'll show you how it would work after that, and that might wrap up our last turn for this. Okay, once again, we start with these 3 spaces here. So, you know, I think we need some stacks of glass. Yeah, raw glass coming up here. So, the blue player who went first, we're going to take his guy off there, and his henchman's going to collect 2 glass for Team Blue, and then red's going to come off and collect 2 glass for Team Red. Yeah, I think we're actually going to be able to build a couple of things this turn. That would be rather interesting. Maybe, possibly. We'll see. And then yellow's going to come off with 2 glass. Yellow's flush on resources. And then we're going to go down to this 2 spot here where red is going to get 2 raw wood out of the workshop. And that's really rounding out his resources. He's got quite a bit of resources there. So that's going to take red off there. And then we got blue getting more glass. It's a glass factory here. Got to catch it while you can because these workshops rotate and you never know if you're going to have enough. So he gets 2 more glass, and then, oh sorry, yeah, and then yellow gets the same. 2 more glass for yellow. So yellow and blue each have 4 raw glass. Red has 2. Now we're going to move over to the second part of the board, so I can kind of hone in on that. Give you some back up right there. There we go. So as we go across 7 space 8, red says, "I want some $2 and my first turn player marker back. Thank you very much." So he gets that. And then we got resource acquisition on blue. Blue says, "You know, I got enough glass. I'm going to turn. I can spend. Oh wait, what did he need there? Oh yeah, he was going to spend 3 money to get something he needed. Okay, yeah, he needs 3 leather. That's what he needed to do something. So he's going to do that. I think it's leather. Let me look. And he will have enough. Yeah. So okay. Yep. Copper leather. Yeah. So he spends his 3 coins, and he's going to get in there 2 raw leather. That's going to be good old blue. He comes off the board. Now, let's just tilt over a little bit further. We got up here on the Genius at Work track, we got red coming off on the first player spot. That means he gets his token on there. He's going to go up to 3. So he's at a good start. Then we got yellow. Yellow's on the next one, so he's going to go up to 4 and to 5. And blue's going to do the same thing, putting him up at 5. And that's going to end that section. Now we come down here. Yellow decided to get get on the manual labor track for 2. So he's got 2 there. And that is basically it for the resolution phase. Now we're going to go to the invent phase. And guess what? We are going to have some inventing. Okay, so since red gets to go first, he's decided to build a concealing cloak which protects him from the direct effect of other inventions against him by the other players. Now what does he need to do that? He needs, in which he has all the resources he needs, as you can see. He needs 2 cloth, 1 raw copper, 1 raw steel, and 2 GA. So he's going to invent that. He's going to take that and place it in front of him. He invented, so he used 2, here you go, 2 cloth, 1 copper, 1 raw steel. I'm going to go put those back on their respective piles. And in doing that, he also is going to use up his 2 of his 3 Ga. So we're going to take care of that as well. So he's going to go down. I'm not going to move the camera over, but he's basically going to go down to 1 Genius at Work point, and that allowed him to build the concealment cloak, one of these special items, which also, if you didn't notice, is going to give him 5 victory points at the end of the game. Pretty cool. Okay, now Yellow is finally going to do what he wanted to do from the beginning, and he's going to make the very special, very powerful duct tape. So here's the duct tape right here. As you can see, the duct tape has a special ability. If you use it to create as part of your big inventions, your getaway item or your death item, it reduces it by 5 victory points, but it can be used as any resource you don't have, and it gives you plus 5 manual labor to escape your escaped vehicle. So what does he need to spend? Well, he needs 1 raw cloth, which he's got here. He needs 1 raw steel, which he's got. He needs a coin, which he's got, and 4 Ga, which he's got. So he made duct tape. Now I'm going to show you something after that. Just after I place all the resources that he needed for that somewhere else. So he needed raw steel and gold. Okay, yeah. Raw steel. The cloth goes back, and he used 4 of his Ga. So that's Yellow is down to 1 because he had 5. Now there's cards underneath that main card for duct tape. Now I'm going to show you what it does. Okay, so let's say Red wants to do duct tape next. Gives him the same benefit, right? But he only needs to use the raw cloth, the raw steel, and a gold, but he's got to pay the inventor 3 additional gold. So now that Yellow has invented duct tape, he's going to get 3 gold every time one of the other players, well, the 2 times the other players invent duct tape, should they choose to do that. So now we're on the blue. Blue also has a bunch of resources. Now remember, he did some trades because he wanted to build something too, and he's got all the resources he needs to do that. And that is going to be, if I recall correctly, is going to be this one here. Yeah, they're both the same. He is going to build the, or was it? Yeah, that's it. He's going to build the variegative proselytizer. He needs 1 leather, 1 glass, and 1 copper, 2 coins, and 4 Ga, which he has got all of those. It's going to give him 4 victory points at the end of the game. And now again, with the proselytizer, if someone else wants to invent it, it takes the same basic resources less the Ga, which by the way, he'll go down to 1 Ga. He's going to use I'm going to collect his resources before I forget. Yeah, so he got his resources out of the way. So he's going to get now the Ga. They're just going to have to pay him 5 when the other players invent another variegative proselytizer, because he's already done all the hard work and gotten that down to what he needs. So it's only 2 gold, so he's going to get 3 back. All right, so that ends the invention phase. So now pay rent. We're still not going to pay rent because nobody. When we don't pay rent until we get to round 5. And then we're going to replace the cards like we did before. You've seen that. So basically that shows you all the elements of the game except for building their big invention or maybe using some of the special items against each other. So I think we're going to end it there, and that's going to be our entire playthrough for now. I hope you got some out of that. Showed you a few turns. I'm not going to complete the game, but that gives you a good idea how the game plays. So if you have any questions, please drop me a line. I don't think I made any errors, but anyway, that should give you a good idea how the game plays. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.